Shalom, shalom. How's it going? You're listening to The Awakening. I'm your host, True Seeker. Tonight we're speaking to Raya, and
Raya.
Raya, and we're going to be speaking about conscious contact. And she's had some different awakening experiences and been contacted by different entities and things like that. Some controversial subjects, which we always, speak about on the show. So tonight we're speaking to her, and it's going to be an open line show. So anybody has questions or comments, feel free to call in. The show will be archived at youtube.com/awakening the podcast. youtube.com/awakening the podcast. I've had to go back and forth between 2 or 3 different channels, so I got something that fits with copyright stuff with my music and with the channel and back and forth and stuff. So we finally got one, youtube.com/awakening the podcast, or you can go straight to my site, which is truthseekermusic.com, truth, SEEKAH, music.com. All of the podcasts will be archived there in MP3 format, and the YouTube videos, and also all of my music videos and merch and blog and everything's going to be on that one site. So truthseekermusic.com will have everything. So let's get into it tonight. A lot of questions for you, sister. Thanks for calling in and coming on the show. A lot of questions to ask you. I've been seeing your name a lot through different YouTube videos, and then I had some guys over the other day, and they seen that I was talking to you, and they're like, "Oh man, you talked to her too." So I guess your name kind of gets around in the awakening movement and people who are into the higher knowledge. I guess you've been having a lot of people watch your videos on YouTube and stuff like that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, I guess to get started, just let everybody know, saying just a little bit about you, where you're from, and just a little bit about your background.
Yeah, I'm from Sweden, and I grew up here in Sweden, in a small town, and I lived with my 3 children, and I have experienced some things, contact with extraterrestrials and things, and I started to see UFOs when I was a child, and
So as far as seeing them when you was a child, like what age was you when you started seeing them?
First time I was 6 years old, and it was together with my mom, and she had also seen UFOs when she was a child. She saw a really big UFO, like a very big one, like a mothership, in the north of Sweden where she lived. And also some other people on her side of the family have seen UFOs.
So was it something that was really close the first time you seen it when you was a kid, or was it something outside the the atmosphere, just lights, or was it something close, or what?
It was really close. It was like a big round light ball, just at the top of the tree. And I could see it really clear, and it was my mom, and I think it was a couple of other people too.
What type of experience was that? Was that, just, was you guys left in awe? Was you guys scared, or what? What kind of feelings from that?
No, not scared. Not at all. It's just like a little bit, like we were wondering what it was,
And how many more times, I guess as you was coming up, did you see this? Was it quite, frequently, or was it rare to see him again until you got a little bit older, or what?
No, it happens sometimes, and also with some friends. It was like other people also was with me when I saw it, and it happens, sometimes in a while, but I didn't really, reflect on it. Like, I didn't think about it so much. I didn't have an interest in UFOs and things before my contact experience, 2003.
Okay. So go from, when you was a child to this contact experience, like what happened between that time and then when you were contacted?
What happened, I was a seeker. I started to read spiritual books and things when I was maybe 13 or something. And so I was searching, for some kind of answers, but nothing, except for I had a out-of-body experience one time before this UFO contact. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any information about it. Like now, we have a lot of information. If you're interested or something, you can Google. You can Google it and you can search information. But I didn't know about the Pleiades. I didn't know about, nothing. And what happened was that I started to feel like my conscious level was changing in a way, and like I saw some type of vision of the future, like that would be some kind of new time coming, and just a lot of information about the situation on Earth, why people suffer, and I saw this separation between people, how religion separates everybody, and that we are all the same, and that we are one source, and all this. And then I got hypnotized. I experienced that something was hypnotizing me, and that I fell asleep. And when I woke up, I saw this big UFO outside my window or something, like a light. And after one of these hypnosis, I had my TV on. And when they woke me up to this song that started. And it was this Red Hot Chili Peppers song, Can't Stop. And in the text, they sing about coming from the space to teach you about the Pleiades.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I never heard this song before this experience.
Wow.
And this was like, okay, so it was like some kind of science for me, what was happening to me, because I didn't have any information, about this. And then my mind was I was starting to almost freak out a little bit from this energy, and I had my memory blocked. And I told people that I had become pregnant in a spaceship. And then, people thought I was totally crazy, and and everything. And I didn't know myself what to think about it. And what happened was that I think it was 6 months after this was when they woke me up in the middle of the night, because I was starting to doubt everything. I was thinking maybe everybody's right, maybe I'm crazy, I didn't know myself. And then they woke me up in the middle of the night, and I felt forced to go and put the TV on, and the series started with Steven Spielberg. And it was about 3 generations contact with extraterrestrials. This is called Taken.
Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah, I know before this happened, and this part that they woke up to was about a girl who became pregnant in a spaceship. And this happened 6 months after I told people, that I had become pregnant in a spaceship.
And what type of experience was that? Was that a fearful experience when it first happened, or are you just getting glimpses of something that you really can't recall, or,
When it happened, I was not afraid at all. I was, I felt like I had a superpower. And but maybe 1 or 2 years after, I started to get afraid, like, I was I really, I was afraid that maybe they would come again and take me, or, whatever. And,
I'm guessing there's a fear that they would come and take you and, you wouldn't come back. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. Or the thing that I was most afraid of was that they would wake me up in a spaceship.
Yeah.
because it's okay for me, whatever they do, as long as they block my memory, you know.
Yeah.
But for me to be conscious, you know, on a spaceship, it would be really, you know.
Traumatic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot of dreams and stuff, and as some of the contact experiences I've had, that still initial dream or fear of being taken aboard a ship, it's still that sense of unknowing or being taken against your will, and then you're automatically in an alien place, a place that's not familiar to you, you know, and
exactly.
And so it's almost like, you know, being taken against your will, but you know, there's a lot of negative stuff, you know, out there about the you know, abduction phenomenon, and I know there's a lot of disinfo as well, you know, in that field as well. So I know you say that it wasn't a scary experience. Would you call yourself an abductee or a contactee or an experiencer? What do you know, kind of refer to yourself as?
I mean, the information I have now in my last contact is that I am a part of this, you know, it's like a soul contract, but when you come down here, you know, in this dimension and in this energy field, you know, you forget about it. So it's not like, I don't feel like I'm a victim. I feel like this is something I read up how to do, you know. I mean, I don't like the different names, you know, like star children and all this, because I know that we are all stars. And but something like that, maybe, you know, that I got the information telepathically, whatever you want to call it, that maybe I don't have my soul history on this specific planet.
Yeah.
And that's also why my level of consciousness is a little bit different from many other people. And that there is also, you know, this what they call the indigo children, that they maybe not, you know, but they also maybe have their history in other star systems. That's why they call them the star children and all this. And that's also why they have problems to fit in the system, you know. That's why they have problems in school, you know, and their hyperactivity and all that. It's because of their level of consciousness, and when you're a child, it's really hard to handle.
Yeah. Well, you actually talked about, you know, feeling like you were carrying a child, you know, from the from the ship, that you got pregnant on a ship. These? You said you actually have two children that you live with. Are these a product?
I have 3 children.
3?
Yeah.
Is this a product of that experience?
Yeah, maybe it is. I mean, I don't have a conscious awareness of this, because this is, like I told you, they showed me this, like, when they woke me up to this failure, and when I told people this, but my memory is blocked. But I mean, I think it's probably like that, but it feels strange to talk about it, because, you know, I don't want to sound like a crazy mom, you know, and my children are aliens. It's really, you know, nothing that I talk about with anybody, and people in Sweden, most people don't even know that I talk about it. Yeah. So, but yes, the answer is yes.
Was you privileged to this information, you know, before the birth of your children, or afterwards?
After.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you familiar with the? I know there's an awesome video of an elderly lady talking about some ships coming down over one of the cottages in Sweden, and she's seen some occupants in it, and they look like human beings, tall, you know, light-skinned people with, like, they have blonde hair. Are you familiar with that video?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, is there a lot of you know, contact experience in Sweden?
No, I would say no.
Really? No. Okay, I got another question. This is kind of off topic. Are you are you familiar with the band by the name of Blindside?
No.
No, you're not familiar. It's a band out in Sweden. So I just wanted to...
Okay. No, never heard of it.
That's what's up. But yeah, you know, I mean, that's one of the reasons we do the show is we try to, you know, take away the fear and the different hysteria behind, you know, a lot of these topics, because there's so much, you know, negativity surrounding it and so much question and doubt, and people will kind of discourage you from even talking about it, even in a controlled setting like this, where we could just kind of, you know, bring our experiences to the table and the things that we've been through and kind of talk about them as adults, you know, and not be judged about it, and just, you know, here's the information that I've read and I've researched and I've actually experienced, and I'm trying to, you know, fit the pieces to the puzzle. And I think with religion and things, like, you know, they kind of act like they have it all figured out, and if they don't, then it shows like a chink in their armor, almost like, well, you know what I'm saying, that they're vulnerable if they don't have all the questions. So instead of admitting, hey, I really don't know, I'm trying to find out, and I don't believe you know either, but can we find out together? So it takes a lot of, you know, humility to actually, you know, admit that, and that's what we're trying to do with the show. And
I mean, it's really accepted, you know, when it comes to religion, you know, to believe in things like the virgin birth and, you know, spirits and angels and everything. And then it's totally accepted. How many people don't believe in Mother Mary, for example?
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it from that perspective, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, people want it fed to them a certain type of way, and you could be saying the same thing, but just, you know, use different wordings.
Yeah.
And you'll totally just blow their mind because you use different wordings. That's why I found that, like, you know, I've done, like, you know, gospel music for, you know, over 10 years or whatever, and, and, you know, now that I'm talking about some of these different subjects, when you're dealing with people who are into the, you know, the church or whatnot, you have to use certain terms with them. Like, you can't say UFO, you can't say aliens, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't say psychics or whatever. You have to, you know, use different biblical terms that are mentioned of in the Bible. So instead of saying UFO, you'll say chariot. Instead of saying Anunnaki, you'll say the fallen angels or the Elohim, or, you know, messengers of the angels or something. You have to use different terminology that they understand. But then when you just kind of kick the terminology to the side and just look at the information for what it is, regardless of what you call it, I think a lot of us are talking about the same thing, because, you know, there's records of a lot of these different, you know, different UFOs and different, you know, heavenly vehicles in all cultures, in all walks of life, through, you know, Chinese, you know, Sumerian, Egyptian, American. There's all types of these ancient sightings and, you know, pictures and things like that. So, you know, I don't think it's out of the box for us to actually sit down and, you know, have this conversation. And I think it shows because there's a lot of people in the chat room and, you know, listening to the show, and a lot of people who follow your work and follow my work, and they're really interested because they've had experiences as well. And they want answers too. They're, you know, they're looking for the answers as well. So, you know, I think that, you know, what you're doing is definitely a huge service to, you know, people who follow your work and people who are looking for answers as well.
Yeah, because I know how much it really means, you know, when someone talk about things like this, because, you know, it's like you can't describe with words. I was listening to a guy just a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about his contact experience, you know, and he said that after his contact experience, he don't believe anymore. He know.
Yeah.
You know, and when he said that, I just felt like, almost like, felt like crying, because I felt this strong connection with him. I felt so thankful, you know, for him just talking about this, for not, you know, after years of people telling you you're crazy, people, you know, don't understand you, and you feel alone, and you feel like you don't belong here. And so it's, you know, it's really, that's the reason why I talk about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know, a lot of things, you know, such as, you know, religion, you have to embrace, you know, by faith. Because even when you read the Bible says that faith is believing in the substance of things not seen, and believing, that the things that you can't see, that you believe that it's real, and you trust and understand that it's real. But there's a difference between having faith in God or believing in God. That's one area, but then you take it to a whole nother area where you don't have faith in God anymore. You actually know God. You've experienced God. You've experienced the angelic. You experience that there's something more to this life. There's something more to, our existence than just, going to work, watching television, paying bills, and doing the same thing every day in the cycle. That there's something more when we pause the matrix, when we pause the television, and we step outside and we gaze into the sky. We look up at the stars and we speak to God, and then we find out that He speaks back. And then we trust these messages in our life, and these doors begin to open, and we begin to connect the dots, and then we have, some type of communication that we've kind of, basically under the stars, you're actually signaling out for. God, speak to me. And then you have this communication. So I want to ask you, to kind of go into a little bit of information about the different telepathic communication that you've had. When was the first time that you kind of received a, message that way, and how often, does it happen? Is it a daily thing? Does it come and go? What's your experience with telepathic communication?
It's not a daily thing. It's like after this close contacts, it's like, I wouldn't say, I don't even know if I want to call it telepathic information. For me, it's more about that my own, vibration, that I have changed after this, because I've also changed my lifestyle a lot. And I believe that this information is everywhere. If we want to, we can tap into this. But the problem is that we keep our own energy down because of the lifestyle we live, because of the food that we eat, because of the bad habits that we have. And for me, this has been a process also of understanding, that I have the ability inside of me, and this cosmic information that they have is also inside of me, So I wouldn't call it telepathic information. It's more like a cosmic knowledge that is out there. And we all have our days, but I can't say that it's like, 2 years ago when I made all these videos, I was in a totally different mind state. And I almost lost contact with my five senses. I couldn't eat. I couldn't read. I couldn't, do anything than just receive this. And it was like a big transformation, on so many different levels, where I decided, to let go of all the bullshit, if you want to call it that, all the drama, all the negative shit that, keep me from being who I really am, So, but I think that we can learn how to open up our more higher chakra in our body if we, eat clean food, we work, do meditation and try to connect with His power.
Yeah. There's, a lot to say, a lot to speak on about what you just said on so many instances, definitely with my experiences as well. My contact experiences have always been a self-empowerment. Like, it's almost like this feeling that if you want this to continue, if you want to go to the next stage, you have to take care of the way you eat, and you have to, get a regular form of meditation. You have to get that down. That's the basics. So, like, if you can't get the basics down, then you're not going to be able to continue and go to the next level. You have to get these basics down. And I've received that message several times, through my experiences. And I have to admit, I haven't mastered that at all. And a lot of the experiences, for me, have died down as well, because I haven't, took those steps. And I kind of have, what I'm saying, a little bit. But once you've been trained so much to just, eat the American diet and caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, it's kind of hard to make those shifts. But it's always been a positive experience about, okay, you need to better yourself, take care of your body. Your body is your temple. You only get one on this existence. You need to take care of it. And your body communicates energy and transmits energy, and it's a realm of communication. Take care of it. So, but yeah, like you were talking about, the different information that you get. It's like that for me. So I think that we were talking before the show about what I kind of titled the show, The Constant Contact, and you're like, hey, this guy's talking about constant contact. So it kind of puffs you up as being someone who is just constant receiving messages, constant, clairvoyant, can answer any question, can channel on spot, that type of deal. And you were kind of like, hey, hold on, it's not really constant contact. It's not really like that. And that's the case. That's the case for me too. It's not like something that you can turn on and off. It's something that spontaneously happens. That's what kind of keeps, the mystery and the intrigue about it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the state I was in when I made all this video on my YouTube, I would probably not do one video right now, after this right now, because I didn't plan to make any videos. And you can see that also when you go and watch the videos, because you see that I didn't, I just took the camera and I started to speak. I couldn't even look in the camera when I was talking, because I was so filled with this cosmic energy and this unconditional love, and it was a totally different thing. And it takes a lot of your energy also to be in this state, because you're not really grounded. So I think it's not healthy for you to be, up in space too much. So, but I guess that I needed that push, to come out and to talk about this, and to start something. And now I feel a little bit more grounded now, and now I feel I need to really be grounded to do something, that can, help more people. And
no, I hear you. I've seen, some of the different information that you've been posting, where it's not about exposing people to angelic contact or exposing, people to ET contact. It's been about, the different, how can we come together and, help each other. And I've seen that campaign that you did this past Christmas.
Yeah.
About helping people and, doing for others as you want them to do for you, and helping those who actually can't help themselves. And, that was real commendable. That's actually, to put it into action and put it into play, the different information and knowledge that you're speaking about. Because those who are just dealing with high knowledge and studying and things like that, it becomes that they're so heavenly minded that they're no earthly good to the average person who can't really make it through this life, who is dealing with drug addiction, who can't seem to pay the bills and stuff. Like, you really got nothing for the average person. Yeah, you got some people who are into high knowledge and stuff that really can't even be proved to an extent, but you don't have anything for the average layperson, So, I think I definitely see where you're coming from, because I'm kind of on the same path. But I think it was because it's like so real and so brand new and so mind blowing when it happens, that when it happens, you're just like, man, everything's new, everything looks different, everything feels different. You interpret everything different, and it's this brand new world, and you have to digest that and kind of come down off of that high, and still maintain that experience, like not kick it to the side like it never happened, or stay on top of that mountain, but come back down to reality and say, okay, how do I balance this out with a regular life, with a job, with my children, with my family, with my friends,
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, the UFO phenomena, it's interesting, but I think that what the extraterrestrial wants, or what we want deep inside, we're all the same source, is really to find ourselves. Because you can use this also as some kind of, to escapism, or what you call it, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like something to entertain you with. It's not about entertainment, it's about taking personal responsibility
Yeah. And you got to make sure that it's not like some type of, even for me, like some type of alternative research or something that you're trying to find your identity in.
Exactly.
Just try to find your identity, you know, in this existence that's an alternative to the given, to the religious, you know, dogmas in the different, you know, mentalities. Like, okay, I found my existence here, and I've built something here, and I've had these organic experiences here, and this is me, you know. So it doesn't become an ego thing to where that's you, and you define yourself in that, you know. That's one thing you gotta make sure too. At the same time, you have to kind of approach it to the point that, you know what, like, I have nothing to prove. Like, I don't have to prove to you that I've had these experiences. If you had these experiences, you would know, but you haven't had these experiences, so obviously you don't. But I've had it. It's real for me. I don't believe anymore. I know. So there's a different understanding there. And it's not for everybody to believe. So once we get over the fact that everybody's not going to believe you, it's not for everybody to believe you, it's not going to profit anybody if they do believe you. Those who are dealing with the same thing, those who have had the experiences, those who have the questions and they can't get answers from their pastor, they can't get any, you know, answers from the gurus or whatever, then they come to a channel like this and listen to a podcast and listen to somebody who's actually been through these type of experiences, talk about them, and it's like you said, like a breath of fresh air. And like, man, I'm not the only one, you know, who's actually woken up in the middle of my night and looked out the window and seen a bright light hovering over my house, and then feel a certain type of way the next day. You know, I'm not the only one who I felt like I've always been watched my whole life. Like somebody's saying to me, like my life is planned out for a reason. You know, so you try to just put the pieces of the puzzle together and listen and do your own research. So.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's a big thing. Kind of like before we kind of get off too far, you know, from that, you were talking about the diet. Like, what's the importance you believe of a good diet with maintaining a spiritual life?
Yeah, for me, I can only speak for myself. I don't think we are so different when it comes to diet, actually. But, you know, stay away from all the the junk food, the fast food, and the sugar, and the white bread, and, you know, all these things that, I only eat as natural as possible, and I have, you know, I've always been reading the labels for many years to try to find out what's in the product that I buy, because I want to know what I put in my body. And for me, it's not anymore like, oh, I'm gonna eat this only today, and, you know, all this thinking that you usually have, because for me, I get sick now, because when you detox your body, you can't really eat that food anymore. And I think it's really important to you know, to give yourself the chance to really detox your body, because, you know, you should really try to know that feeling. And you can see it as a challenge, to really challenge yourself, you know, to see how far you can take this, and how good you really can feel when you have been clean from toxic food for a longer time, not only, you know, for a couple of days, and then you eat something again, and, you know, you're not really in balance. You need to give it some time.
Yeah, I think that's the key or whatever. Like I said, I haven't mastered it, but when I do eat a spinach smoothie or something like that, man, I feel so, you know, revitalized in my being. And I do go on these binges where I'm eating bad, eating a lot of fast food, or eating a lot of processed food, and I just feel bad in my body, feel bad in my spirit. And then when I eat something like an orange or an apple or banana, I can actually feel the energy. Even when peace, you can feel the energy consciously, knowing that you're partaking of the life of that, and that life is coming into you. It's a really you know, conscious experience to do that. So I know that there's something to it. I know that there's something spiritual behind it about eating natural and not eating all this processed food that really gives you no nutritional value whatsoever. So like I said, I still struggle with it, man. But I'm trying to take this I can. And I know I'm not the only one. There's many people listening.
It's really hard. Yes. And the thing is that this food is activating certain centers in your brain.
There you go.
So it's like the same thing when you drink alcohol. That's when you do like rehabilitation for alcohol, they change your diet in some places because they have seen that they don't relapse as they do when they don't change the diet, because you're never in balance. Mm-hmm. Because it's really like a drug for your brain. That's the case. That's why you're craving it. That's why you feel empty when you don't eat it and things. And what you need is that you need to detox yourself. You need to give this some time, and you need to have this warrior mentality. Because what happens is that after 10, 20 years, you end up with cancer or some other diabetes or something because of what you've done 10, 20 years back in time. It's going to show in the future. And I'm sure you can do it if you just have the right mindset. And this is also a little bit what I want to work with in the future now. Just starting off with some friends to really help them to change their diet and things, because sometimes you need a push also to do this. And you will never regret it, because when you come to this point where you're free from it, you won't crave it anymore at all. That's the thing. It's like any addiction. After a while, you feel like when you eat it, it tastes different and everything, because your taste will change.
Mm-hmm. So many people in the chat room are asking, they're saying that what you've experienced with your contacts was a CE4, close encounters of the fourth kind. Would you agree with that? I mean, do you know?
What's that?
Basically,
close contact.
Yeah, well, you've actually seen an entity. Have you seen beings that contacted you?
No, I haven't seen them, but I would say it. I would call it close contact, because of what I experienced, and the ship that I saw, and the whole experience. I can't call it anything else than that.
Okay.
But I've never seen one.
You've never seen any of the entities?
No.
What about during like meditation and anything? Have you seen anything then? No. I've seen some energies, and I saw. I mean, when I had this out of body experience that I talked about, I saw some. I saw some. I would call it like energy or spirit or something. And also, when I was a child, I had some memories, seeing, like defense memories. I used to see a clown when I woke up in the middle of the night, in my apartment. I saw this clown in nighttime staring at me, and this is like defense memories. But I never seen like extraterrestrial, like how you well, they say,
how you think they look.
There's really 4 stages. First, second, third, and fourth kind. The fourth kind is where they come to you and they contact you, whether they show up in your room or you have exciting that you go up on a ship or something like that. One of the new things, as of lately, is what they call a CE5, which is a close encounter of the fifth kind. So it's not seeing the ship in the distance. It's not them coming to you. It's actually you going to them, whether it's through meditation or whether it's in a field, doing different meditations in the field and going out with flashlights and trying to make contact. So you have a lot of people doing that now. That's a CE5, where they don't contact you, but you contact them.
Okay.
And I think that once they've kind of made contact with you, or once you know that something's going on, that you're being watched over, and you go out into the field and you do the CE5, I mean, they have different protocols that people have been doing. Dr. Stephen Greer, James Gilliland at the East City Ranch, like all these guys have footage of them doing it, and they've been doing it for close to 50 years and have had nothing but positive experiences. There's no drugs being taken. Everybody's sober. It's just conscious contact, and they've had ships come down and different entities appear and form and everything of this, them going out with the intent of making it happen, and the beings that have been watching over them, which, you know, are the angels mentioned of in the Bible, and you know, they'll actually come down and say hello and just let you know that, hey, we're here watching over you. We have everything taken care of, and that's an amazing experience for you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And do that, especially when you take a skeptic out there. You know, and they have an experience like that as well.
Yeah, that's really amazing.
There was a documentary done by the BBC. I forgot what it was called, but it was with a guy by the name of Danny Dyer, and I like to speak about this because he actually went through the you know, a lot of different UFO contact groups and people claiming that they had contact with UFOs and extraterrestrials and angels and things like that. And he went around the world and went to these, I think it was like several different places, and some people shot, you know, different radio frequencies into space and said that they could manifest a ship to come up and everything. And he went to like 5 or 6 different places and nothing happened. And finally on his last trip, he went to East City Ranch, which is James Gilliland's ranch in Trout Lake, Washington. He went there for his last trip, and he went there, and you know, not only did he see ships, you know, not only did he see a lot of ships that actually did, you know, maneuvers and things that, you know, no airplane could do, but they actually practiced a form of, you know, Qigong, Kunlun energy, where he had just like an amazing awakening there with that whole energy. So he was going there to see ships, but he ended up having this amazing, you know, life-changing awakening experience in the midst of it. And I think it kind of goes hand in hand, you know, like, you know, once you're going through this and you see this, it definitely, you know, you definitely have to question your existence, you know. Like
definitely.
And why are you doing the negative things that you do, and self-evaluation thing, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of you know, a lot of different stuff as far as like, you know, the Christian stuff, and even today somebody sent me a link, and a lot of the Christian ufologists you know, talk about, you know, these things about them being demonic and being and things like that. What do you say when somebody, I mean, are you approached by people who you tell your story to, then they say you're in contact with demons and things like that?
Yeah, many comments on my YouTube call me demonized and things, and I mean, I see it a little bit like the other way around, you know. I don't want to demonize things, but I believe that maybe, you know, it's like a big fear in the religion that people, you know, should really wake up and start to you know, to get to know themselves inside. And I don't know, I don't go into discussion with people like that, because I don't want to waste my energy too much, you know, on things, and I don't know. I understand from their point of view how they see it, but they don't understand what I have.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, I really don't think there's anything you can say, and that's on several different levels. Like, there was a guy today who hit me up, and he wanted to kind of debate me on some stuff, or whatever. I couldn't explain. Like, I really can't. I could try, but I'm going to do a bad job at it. But you know, you got to have your own experiences, man. Like, I can tell you what I went through, but unless you experience it, I'm just making it up. You have no idea until you know, it happens. I mean, you can look at the evidence and They try to rationalize everything in your head, but once you know, there's nothing nobody can tell you. They can't convince you that you don't know.
No. No, I mean, I have some people also have negative experience from extraterrestrials, you know, have contacted me, you know, and really blaming me for, you know, coming out with this false message about this alien race and that they are all bad and, you know, things like this. And I tried to talk to him and ask him if you think all humans are bad just because some of them are, you know, killing people or torturing people. But, you know, no, I couldn't really.
Well, I think a lot of people are getting confused. They're kind of lumping the extraterrestrial, you know, experiences in with the, you know, demonic experiences, because there are demonic entities that do for the human psyche and, you know, human emotions, and they get energy off of your negative emotions and energy. And, you know, a lot of people are getting that mixed up when they wake up in the middle of the night and there's a little entity in their room sucking off their energy, or laying on top of them, pinning them to the bed, sucking their energy, and they think that's an alien experience. But from what I've seen in the research I've done, in my personal experiences, those were straight demonic. It has nothing to do with, you know, the ET phenomenon that's going on, that it's straight up. So I think a lot of people try to mix those together, especially with a lot of the you know, agendas that's been done over the years, you know, with, you know, television and things like that, to get people afraid and get people scared. So when you wake up in the middle of the night and you have something in your room, it's automatically fearful. Or if you see a UFO in the night sky, you run from it. You don't try to signal it with your headlights or your flashlight or cell phone. You know, you kind of run from it and things, because, you know, it's going to, you know, be something negative or whatever. But, you know, what I've seen, especially with the research that's been done, there's been so many people who have had amazing, life-changing experiences. Angelic is what I call it, because it's you know, it's all, you know, benevolent, and a lot of stuff that was negative. I don't know if you've done any research on the MyLabs of different you know, military-induced abductions, where they were going around great hysteria to get people scared of this whole phenomenon, and the military was staging mock abductions to place.
Yeah, I read a little bit about it.
Well, people were being abducted, and there was, you know, U.S. soldiers on the show and things like that, you know?
Yeah, it's all about keeping us in the fear state, you know, and...
somebody's asking, the question is, what is the purpose of seeking contact with aliens? Well, here's the thing. You know, aliens is just it's just a word. I really don't think that they're called aliens. I believe that they're, you know, angels. I believe that they're the ones who, you know, seeded us here, or the ones who are actually watching over us. And they've been speaking to us, guiding us. They've been here since the beginning. They don't want to destroy us. They don't want to take us over. They would have did that before we have been involved. I mean, there's cave paintings, and you know, dating back to the earliest cultures, showing that they've been watching over us. And the only times that they do get involved with, like, government and things like that is when, you know, we're creating these different, you know, nuclear warheads and these different missiles that these ships have come down and actually, you know, neutralize these missiles and things like that on several occasions. And it's almost like you're kind of evolving, you know, too much for your own good, that you're going to destroy yourself or destroy each other. But, I mean, it's just something that's on the inside of you. Like, I mean, I think somebody's listening to the show, that, you know, they're listening for a reason. They're not, I don't think that they, you know, have anything to prove or anything like that, but that they have a longing inside of you, inside of them. And if you have that longing to look into these topics, then do it. You know, don't be scared. Do it. Yeah, use caution. Don't just approach anything just, you know, being gung-ho and just trying everything and doing all that. Even the scriptures say to try the spirits, test the spirits,
Exactly.
And so there's always been this thing where people have said, because I've told some people about my experiences, and they say, hey, you need to watch out what you're doing. You're going out asking to see these ships or whatever. Because it was just a thing where I would go out and I would pray and I would talk to God and I would ask him that if these were of him, if these were the seraphim and the cherubim that are mentioned of in the scriptures, if these were the Elohim, the chariots of fire, would he please show me? And when I prayed that prayer and spent hours under the moon, looking out, man, it became a playground. I seen things left and right. I've seen stars open up and other stars come out of them and fly away. I've seen stars fly across the sky and tag another one, and the other one takes a spot and he takes off. And then, man, I seen so much stuff that just blew, kind of blew my mind. So it wasn't I had to believe in faith anymore. It's just like I knew there was something going on. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew there was something. So a lot of people are like, well, you're asking for these experiences, you're asking to see these things, and what if you might mess around and get abducted? You may get taken. You may get something that you don't want. You're going to ask for something to come upon you that you don't want. Well, there's an example, and I like to give this example. It was given in the scriptures where Jesus said that when you pray, that if you ask your Heavenly Father for a fish, he's not going to give you a snake. If you ask your Heavenly Father for a loaf of bread, he's not going to give you a stone. And I have to take that same analogy that I ask God, if they are of him, if they are benevolent, if he will show me his Elohim, his seraphim, and I start seeing them, I can only take that in faith and believe that he's doing that. And that's just between me. I think that's really between me and him. You guys are privileged, you know what I'm saying, for the show to actually be listening to me sharing that. You guys would have no idea, but I want to get the information out there, man. That if you guys are having your own experiences, let me know. I mean, who knows? I have no idea what you guys have experienced, but I can just let you know what I've experienced. Linda Raya can let you know what she's experienced, and you can chalk it up to whether it's something that you want to pursue. Because if it's something you want to pursue, it's going to be I think it's going to be a longing deep down within you. I don't think it's going to be something like a spur of the moment fun thing that you do on the weekend. Hey, let's try to make contact.
No, exactly. That's really not what it's about.
It's going to be something deep within you that's been there your whole life. You know?
Just that we are so programmed in this reality, you know, so we have lost contact with the true essence. And, I think more and more people are starting to feel this feeling of, want to reconnect with this power. So the question is not if you should try to search for contact with an ET, more about search for yourself and try to find yourself, who you are, beyond all this fake programs in this society, I am a teacher, or I am whatever you work with that you think you are, but that's not the real you. The real you is something, eternal and everywhere. And for me, God is really not, I feel like I am God and you are God and we are all gods, we are a part of God, so we can't be nothing else. We can't be separated from this creation,
I think it's about transcending dogma. I use the word a lot. I deal with it a lot. I deal with a lot of Christians. I'm a Christian. I believe in the gospel of Jesus Christ, and and it's not against my religion. It's not against my my biblical understanding. That's what got me into a lot of this stuff. To tell you the truth, is reading the scriptures and finding that the scriptures spoke about dragons that breathe fire. That the scriptures spoke about sorcerers and stargazers and astrologers and healings and miracles and things like this, and all these things that pique my interest for this type of stuff. So But once you transcend religion, see, religion puts these boxes out and says that, okay, you have to stay in this box. This box that you're in, you can talk about love, peace, harmony. You could talk about, the Bible, but you can't go outside of the Bible. The Bible is the complete finished work of God. All of his miracles stopped with the Bible. He doesn't speak to man like he spoke to the prophets and things like that. And, so that's what religion does, and that's what I'm seeing is there's so many people who are in that box. But see, a lot of people are okay with that box. They're fine. They're comfortable in that box. They don't want to know about why they're here. They don't want to know why the universe works. My heart longs to know these things. I don't know what it is, but my heart longs to know the meaning behind healing. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do people get healed when you lay your hands upon them? And you speak a prayer and people get healed and people believe it and their faith connects. And, the deeper meanings behind life, that's what I long to know. And I'm not content with, you're not supposed to know that. That's never a good answer for a seeker,
No. I don't know what you mean. Many people are really, that they feel safe, and I think they also feel a little bit afraid of, opening up their mind and their consciousness. So they stay to what they have been told without question. And that's how it is.
Well, yeah, we want to open up the phone lines, and if anybody has any questions, comments you want to add to the show, if you just need some advice, give us a call. We'd love to speak with you. I see we have a call up there now. We'll try to take that in a minute. So anybody wants to call in, the number you can reach us at is 724-444-7444. And then enter the call ID 78643. And then when it asks you for your PIN number, push pound, and I'll see that you're in queue. We'll take you on, and if you have any questions, comments, let us know what you're feeling. We definitely want to hear from you. So if anybody has any questions, call in. Anybody needs any dreams interpreted, call in and let us know your dreams. We do flow in the prophetic gift of dream interpretation as well. So anybody out there going through some dreams and having visions and needs some help, I'll try my best to see if I can get anything on it. I don't know who this is, but we have a call. It's, let me see if it's going to take guest 27. You there?
Yes, brother. Shalom. How you doing?
Shalom. Who am I speaking with?
Are you speaking with Ronell?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm all right, and I want to give a blessings to the sister on the show. I think this is a great topic. It's my first time listening to the show, and it's a very good topic, aliens, basically. And I just wanted to drop a quick jewel. Like a lot, and I'm sorry the sister had those experiences with Christians or whatever, because in all actuality, the Bible backs up aliens. A really good book for the sister to read it. She's never read it. The Book of Enoch, that was actually a part of the Bible. It was actually, they knew about it. And I just wanted to drop a quick jewel, if no one minds. Genesis 6 and 1 through 1 and 6 and 4. The book of Genesis 6 and 1. And it came to pass that when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and that they were fair. And he took unto them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also after that. When the sons of God came into the daughters of men, they bare children unto them. The same became mighty men, which were men of renown, men of old. Now, if you link that to Deuteronomy 3 and 1, you get, For only Og, king of Bashan, remained the remnant of the giants. Now, pretty much, if you were to read the book of Enoch, you will see that Og actually lived through the flood. He was a Nephilim, a son of a so-called angel or alien in a human being. Now, the death of the Nephilims became demons. You learn that also in the book of Enoch and in the book of Jasher as well. That, see, a lot of these things they won't teach you in the church because it's not a part of their dogma, like the brother was saying. So I think it's a very good thing to just study. Study as much as you can, and you can study. You can learn from anyone. So it's always a blessing to have an open mind.
Yeah, that's what's up. Enoch is an amazing book. Have you read that yet, Linda?
No.
Oh yeah, you got to read Enoch. Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, Enoch is an amazing book. Hey man, thanks for the call, brother.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. Blessings.
All right, brother. Peace.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, Enoch, amazing book. It was one of the first books that I, read outside of the scriptures as far as the canon goes. Anyway, if anybody questions the book of Enoch or whatever, I mean, there's actually a website where you can go to where they tell you all the books that have actually been mentioned of in the Bible, but been taken out, and it speaks of the book of Jasher. It quotes the book of Jasher. It quotes the book of Enoch. It quotes all these other lost books that we have no idea where they are, probably in the Vatican. The book of Edu the prophet, the book of Shemaiah the prophet. All these are quoted in the Bible. They're quoted. It says, as it is written in the book of Shemaiah the prophet. And like, hold on. I want to read that book, But yeah, that's an amazing book that talks about, these certain angels who, fell and came down, to deal with the daughters of men. And, they tried to go back to heaven. And, they wasn't allowed back in heaven because they sinned once they left heaven and took bodies for themselves and became as men to deal with the women, and they tried to go back, and God wouldn't let them. So he said that they couldn't stay on earth and they couldn't come back to heaven. So he actually bound them up in chains of darkness. He's holding them until the day of judgment, which is mentioned of in the scriptures in Peter and in Jude and even in Revelation, that these angels that fell are in chains of darkness and chains of bondage in different places on the earth, that they're chained up, and that the children which came from these fallen angels and the women, the children who were destroyed with the flood, these children became demons. And these are the demons that are on the earth that are dealing treacherously with people, which are riding people, and they used to have bodies, and the only way that they can feel now is if they have a human body. The only way they can taste food, the only way they can taste pleasure and sin is if they have a body that is under their persuasion to do that. And every time that you sin and every time you give into these treacherous acts, that these demons, these entities gain power from it, and they gain pleasure to do it. So that's why, a lot of the world is the way it is, because it's dealing with these fallen angels or whatever. Actually, the children of the fallen angels. So
I heard a little bit about this.
Yeah, Enoch is an amazing book. It's not even a long read at all. So definitely, everybody listening, definitely read Enoch. I've bought the book on several occasions, and we gave them out to people to read, and just because I believe in the book so much, it's pretty awesome. It shows you how these demons, work and operate on the planet now. But but see, I mean, the thing about it is, a lot of Christian denominations, if they do talk about this, they'll say that all angelic entities or all alien entities are demonic, and that's where a lot of them get that from, is that they're fallen angels. But what somebody has to understand is that fallen angels fell. Fallen angels aren't flying around in the atmosphere. They fell out of the atmosphere. When you read the scriptures, when you read the Bible, it talks about, and I gazed into the heavens and seen this. The same word that it uses for heavens is the same word for sky. I looked into the sky, and it talks about these angels falling from the heavens. These angels were kicked out of heaven. The ones who fell and the ones who rebelled against God, they were kicked out of heaven. They're not allowed to fly, to traverse the heavens. They're chained on the earth. They're chained in this lower atmosphere. So they're not flying around from this planet to the next planet. That's what the Bible describes the Archangel Michael and the other angels doing. The angels travel back and forth from this planet to the next planet, or to where, the heavenly abode of where God dwells, which there's lots of footage, man, where you just see these lights traveling back and forth from heaven to earth. It's some pretty interesting footage, but I believe that's what that is. I believe that these are angelic hosts that are made of light. Even in Enoch, it tells you that the angels are made of light in their heavenly habitation, and when they choose, they can come to earth and take on the image of men. When they have to deal with man, they have to talk to a man or deal with something. And then when they go back to heaven, they transform into light. And in Hebrews and in Psalms, in the scriptures, it says that he maketh his ministers as a flame of fire. His ministers are righteousness, that they're made out of fire. So a lot of interesting stuff, man, to throw in there. But like I said, a lot of people try to say that anything in the atmosphere that you see is demonic. That's, I definitely don't think that's the case, man. I've had many experiences, and a lot of other people have as well. And I'm assuming what you're saying now is maybe it started out as something kind of scary, but ended up as a very, positive experience. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about also what kind of vibration you have in your own, life, what kind of life you live, because when you feed this lower energy by your lifestyle, then you also are more controlled by fears, So that's I noticed a big change in how I handle all this after my last contact. Now, when I changed a lot of things in myself, and in my own lifestyle. So, yeah.
Well, I was talking to a guy today, and only thing he's never heard of the term contactee or experiencer. Everything he's heard has always been negative. It's always been anti-God, like these aliens or whatever abducting people, saying that there is no God, we are your gods, and this hysteria that there is no Jesus and things like that. So you see with stories like that get propagated in the Christian community, and that's all that they hear. They don't really hear people like me deemed, someone, like a new ager or something like that. They really don't take me seriously for the most part. But I was talking to the guy, and all he's heard is, these abduction experiences and negative experiences. And we was talking about one he happened to hear about it, the Travis Walton incident, which is the movie A Fire in the Sky, which came out in the mid-'90s. And I don't know if you've seen it, but I seen it when I was a kid. And it really scared me because it was about this group of loggers who went out into the woods, and they were working late, and they thought they'd seen a forest fire, and they went close to it, and it was actually a UFO that was really close to the ground. Travis Walton got out of the truck, went to the truck, and was trying to touch it or getting really close to it, and the UFO shot out some type of laser beam and hit him, and knocked him down and paralyzed him. And everybody in the truck panicked and left, and actually left him out there. And then the movie goes on to show that they beamed him on the ship, and they held him down, and there was dead bodies on the ship, and just crazy, tormenting stuff that will really blow your mind, especially me as a kid when I seen it. It scared the hell out of me. It really did. And now, they interview Travis Walton now. He does a lot of the UFO circuits, and he says that, he sold his rights, about that story, and that was a true experience that happened to him. He sold his rights, and they made it out to be basically like a horror story, and he said it didn't happen like that. And now this has been, almost 20 years or so now, And when he retells it now, his understanding of it was the fact that he got close to the UFO and it powered up. And when it powered up, he got hit with a beam of energy from the power up, and it actually knocked him down and hurt him. And they had to pick him up to get him on the ship and actually, do some repair on him so that he wouldn't die. So he said he believes that's the meaning of it, and that's what happened to him now. And they're propagating this fear and this abduction scenarios and things like that. So there's a big difference from what happened and what the media or what says happened.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's all about keeping us on this lower frequency. But I mean, you who believe in Jesus Christ and everything, I mean, do you believe that he was some kind of extraterrestrial or something?
I believe his spirit was. I believe he, I don't think that he was an alien per se. I mean, obviously.
I mean, his spirit incarnation.
Yeah, spirit. Yeah, he was a spirit that was with the Most High. He was with God, and he, in his spirit, him and God and the other angels helped create everything, the Elohim, and then he was.
I mean, is God some kind of? I mean, I know many Christians call people him, God, like the Father or him. I mean, is God for you who are Christian? I'm just curious, to ask you. I mean, do you think that this is a he, or is it? I mean, can you define God?
Yeah, I mean, I can define the biblical term of God, and then, but I don't think it stops there.
No.
But yeah, the biblical term of God is, he's definitely shown as a father. The Holy Spirit, which is his life-giving spirit on the face of the earth, is more of the motherly, affectionate one. God chastises his children that he loves, and the spirit is like the mother spirit, which basically nurtures and is actually called the Comforter in the New Testament, and actually comforts his people. So, which is the Spirit is what we have here now, which is the Comforter, which is the Holy Spirit that is given to lead us into all truths. But and then you have the Son, which is Christ, who was with the Father, that helped him create everything, and that Spirit became incarnate through a child. I personally don't believe in the Immaculate Conception, where an angel impregnated Mary, or God impregnated Mary. I believe that the Scripture is very clear that Jesus was the son of Joseph. He's called the son of Joseph many times, but that Spirit came through that lineage, through the son of Joseph. So the Spirit of Jesus came and was incarnated, which was the Savior, or what some people may call the Avatar, was the Savior of his people. And that's basically how it plays out, and a lot of different people have different dogmas and interpretations on that, and not everybody, and that's kind of blasphemous for some people to hear that Jesus was the son of Joseph. But if you read in the Bible, it's very clear that he was the seed of David. The seed actually means the sperm, from a man. He was from the seed of David, which was Joseph.
But could it be like he was both from, like it was some kind of extraterrestrial,
Well, it was definitely angelic. He went back to which he came.
That they did something with the DNA, so maybe he had a father here, but also he was some kind of extraterrestrial.
He was the son of God. He was a spirit. He was the spirit that was alive and incarnate before the beginning and before the foundations of the world. Like, he was here before everything existed. So he knew his former life. He knew his role in heaven, and he came down to earth and walked this earthly experience out as a regular man. He didn't come as a superb avatar being, and it says he took not upon the the likeness of angels, but he came as a man, so that we would know the feelings, and he experienced everything that we experienced to show us that, that, you know what I'm saying, that we can transcend, and the same things that we go through, he went through, and we can make the right choices through the Spirit of God, which is peace, love, patience, and joy in the Holy Ghost. That we can make the right experiences too, and walk according in this life how Christ walked.
But when you talk about it like he was the Son of God, are we not all daughters and sons of God? What's the difference, except for, for his level of consciousness or his, his ability to become more one with the power of creation?
He had a certain role. He had to come. He had to come to fulfill many prophecies. There were many prophecies that was given through his lineage that would that this certain ruler would come, and he would rise up, and he wouldn't rule the earth through the sword, but he would rule the earth through love and kindness, and he would rule the earth by becoming perfect, because they had sacrifices in the Old Testament that would appease God if they killed the lamb and they spilt the blood before God, and it would calm God's anger down, just like the Mayans would sacrifice humans to cure the gods, and the Greeks would sacrifice people and throw them overboard to cure Poseidon, and it was always blood that calmed these gods down, and not many people want to understand that, but the Most High of the Bible was the same way. He was a bloodthirsty God, that he needed blood for some reason, that it was without the shedding of blood there was no remission for sins. So whenever they killed the goat, it calmed him down for a while. Whenever man's sin rose up so much in the earth that it was just so much wickedness, God would get so angry and so mad, and he would need to be calmed down. He would actually kill people. He was a very vengeful God in the Old Testament. He would open up the ground.
But do you believe in that?
I believe in it. I definitely do. I don't believe that he's that way now, because I believe that's why Christ came, that the Bible says that Christ satisfied the wrath of God, and that when Christ died, because he was perfect, and when he died, he satisfied God's wrath, that his only son, which was his right-hand man, who created everything with him, came and walked the earth, and he died. He was a perfect sacrifice, which fulfilled the Old Testament laws of the shedding of the lamb. He was the perfect lamb, the final sacrifice. So according to the Bible, if that's what you believe, that's how it, you know what I'm saying, that's how it went down or whatever. Not everybody believes that. Everybody's you know what I'm saying, but
for me it sounds a little bit like like more when you talk about it, like people were sacrificing things and then God got mad and all this. For me, because I'm not Christian and I'm not religious at all, but I respect all the, all people. But for me, it sounds more like, like the people's conscious level was, on a totally different level back then. And a lot of it is maybe just like their way to, to see things that maybe, like a story or something, part of it. But I think a lot of it is really good and good message.
Yeah. There's definitely, like, if you read, if you understand or read the Bible without, you take the stories literally without understanding the, morality of the message that it's trying to tell, like, and it was always that, the message was always that good prevailed over evil, and that no matter what is against you, what odds are against you, that through God that you'll be able to actually overcome all odds and all obstacles to fulfill God's will for your life. That's the main story. Now, all the different details and the way it was told and things like that, it's all up for interpretation. It really is. But but there are stories. Every culture has some pretty crazy stories. A lot of people like to try to, exalt the Mayans, and the Mayans ones just tip, but hey, they killed a lot of people as well. They killed their own people to gods, and a lot of people did that. You know what I'm saying? Different cultures. So even this, the different Hebraic cultures within the scriptures did that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I see it like their level of consciousness was, I mean, the way they looked at it from how they, perceived it was not maybe not, how it really was, because they couldn't, Yeah,
it's deep because, the scriptures even say that because they actually had to have the law, like when Moses went up to Mount Sinai, God gave him the law to show these people in the wilderness how to act, because they didn't know how to act. So he had to write down these commandments and, okay, do this, don't do that. If you touch a dead body, wash yourself. Like, they didn't even know to do that. They say, if you touch a dead animal, go wash yourself, cleanse yourself. Because they would go touch dead animals and then go be with their wives, or touch dead animals and go prepare food or something like that. So he gave them all these instructions, like, you're set apart. Once you touch a dead animal, clean yourself several times a day. You need to separate yourself for the whole day. And there was all these rules he gave them. But then in the New Testament, when Christ came, that all these symbols and stuff and all these laws he gave, he said they were written on our hearts. So now we don't need a stone that we have to read that says, do this, don't lie, don't steal, don't cheat. That's written on our hearts now. The new covenant in Christ is that the law was written on our hearts, so that when we go to the store when we're a child and we steal a piece of candy, we know we're doing wrong. We don't have to look at a rule sheet and, that's against the rules, we're not supposed to steal. Like, we already know, because we wrestle and war within our own psyche, within our own understanding. So that, therefore, is a symbol or a sign of that higher consciousness which is speaking of, which is what they call Christ consciousness anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's for me, it's more about the conscious part, and the thing with with religion, or when it comes to see it as someone else, like in the religion, there's a little bit of worshipping going on, and I don't think if there was any prophets here, I think what we made of what they were trying to teach has nothing to do with with the main purpose, if you know what I mean, because it's just created a lot of separation and a lot of names and a lot of borders, and it's not about names and borders, it's about unity inside. Yeah,
it is about that, but you're always going to come down to somebody's interpretation, even what even what you're saying about the whole Christ consciousness, and it's about just loving everybody. Like, other people have different interpretation of even what that means. Well, that means I get to go out and sleep with anybody I want because I love everybody and I'm a part of everybody. And no, you can't do that, I mean, really, people are out there. Like, they have some really crazy thoughts. So it is, privy to different interpretation, and try to use some type of common sense as well when reading the Bible or when approaching anything,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I've been a part of a lot of different, different movements and stuff like that, as far as some of the stuff, branching off in Christianity and the different denominations and things like that. And there's a lot of crazy stuff out there, like you wouldn't even believe. But I mean,
I know.
It never stops or whatever. But so it really comes down to, I believe, to really forget all that stuff and just love God and try to do right. You know what I'm saying? To do unto others as you would have them to do unto you is what Christ taught, and that he said that he fulfilled everything in the Bible, that he was the fulfillment of all that, and so that all that's done away with in him, that he is the fulfillment of the covenants, and that when Christ died, that, he bridged the gap of men were like separated between, them and God. So
but that was also one thing that I would think I was maybe 14 or something. I was I lived on this rehab home for teenagers, and I was on this Christian, it was a Christian place, and I really tried to, I was reading the Bible, and I was really, trying to understand this, and one of the things that I had a really problem with was just that, for example, was that, to love God. What is that? For me, that's can't identify myself with that because I don't see God as separated from anything. I don't see him as, well, I don't even want to call it him, but for me, God is, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is it something that I need to feel some kind of, do I have some kind of, what you call it, obligation to him, or what you call it? You know what I mean? For me, that's always have been the hardest part when it comes to Christianity, to understand that. Can you explain that?
Well, I think it's just interpretation, like you said. I mean,
now we're off topic, but anyway.
No. It's all together, man. I mean.
Yeah, I know.
It's really, I think, like I was saying, I think it's about Christ, and that he, he's teaching love, and he's teaching that the way you follow him is to love, your neighbor, is to love your neighbor as yourself, to do good unto others, and to keep the law of God perfectly, because he did. And really what he's teaching you is that if you love your brother, don't steal from him. If you love your brother, you won't covet his wife. You won't try to steal the things that he has. You won't want what he has. You'll be content with what you have and what God has given you, and just be content with life in any situation, any circumstance, and then to really have a relationship with him. And I think that's the meaning of the new covenant in Christ. And there's a lot of, like I said, there's dogmas and stuff, like stigmas and stuff that people have to be right about, but I really have to be right about nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Whether you believe or whether I believe, it doesn't make it any less true or not. If it's true, it's true. It's the truth, whether we believe it or not. Our belief in the truth doesn't make it any less true. So, yeah, I mean, do we get things wrong? Do we have things mixed up? The Bible even says that we see in part and we know in part. So we don't really know everything. We just have a glimpse of it. But there's going to be a day where we're going to see things clearly, when it all comes down, or when we pass from this existence to the next. We'll see that, hey, our bills really didn't matter that much. Hey, quarrels with our friends who was trying to prove a point to us and wanted to be dumb about it. That really didn't matter. It mattered about showing love to those who get no love in this world, to give to those who get no food in this world, to be a friend to those who have no friends in this world. I think that if you could do those little things, I think that transcends the UFOs and the different things that we talk about that interest us, which is all good in its rightful place. But if you're too good to do these little things, then I think you've already missed the part, and really could care less what you have to say about your God,
Yeah, exactly. True.
But yeah, a lot of people, I mean, they just, and I say a lot of people because I've been there. Like, when I say a lot of people, I'm speaking about myself in the past tense, because, like, I've been there where I had to argue with you about beliefs and stuff, and that, if you didn't believe it this way, then you were damned to hell, and you were in error, and I'm going to be praying for you, and all this type of stuff. And I can't do me that way, so it's kind of, I have to bite my lip, but I have to get over the fact and understand that, hey, I was there once too. I had something to prove. Once you get over the fact of the ego, that you have nothing, you really could care less if they believe you or not. Whether they believe if there is a God, or if there is aliens.
No, but for me it's more about, I just want to try to understand how you see it, because I know how I see it, but you hear it a lot when people, Christian or religious people talk about God in a certain way, and for me, I just want to try to understand, how you look at it. I could tell you the way I see it, but you can go to another Christian and they'll try to break it down to you. It'll be totally different than what I'm saying, Sure.
But I do believe that, like you're saying, that God is everywhere at every given moment, and that He speaks to us through or He or she, whatever you want to call Him. We call Him He because I'm used to that fatherly figure in my life of God being a father to me, and even reading the scriptures, and that's how it was revealed to me. Obviously, if you read the Bhagavad Gita, He's not called a He, You know, it's called something else. Or if you read Indian literature, he's not called a genie. It's called a great spirit that encompasses everything. So I think that all of these different religions have a piece of it. I don't think that any religion has it figured out. I don't say that Christianity is the religion to go with. You should become a Christian and come to my church.
No.
I don't think that you should repent and become a Muslim and go to the mosque or Hindu and go to the temple. I think that every religion has a piece of the truth. I believe that every denomination has a piece of it. And if we can learn from it and glean from what's right and learn from the mistakes to not do the mistakes. Okay, they tried that and it didn't work for them. It's probably not going to work for us. Let's don't do that. And I think that if we would do that as a people, you know what I'm saying, to learn from the mistakes of the past, okay, war is not the way. Capitalism is not the way, you know. Capitalism is awesome until Walmart moves in. And then when Walmart moves in, shuts everybody down, shuts the mom and pops down. So, like, we learn from our mistakes, man, and try to move on as a people. But I think we should do it, you know, with ourselves first and with our families. Because if we can't, you know, do it ourselves and with our families, then, you know, I don't think anything else matters. It's just all theory, you know.
Yeah, very true.
But like I said, whenever it's, you know what I'm saying, a lot of this is theory until you can put it into practical use. You can break it down and use it in your everyday life. You know? Whether it's
that's the biggest challenge.
Whether it's conscious contact but if you go through life, man, knowing that your steps are ordained by God and that every door is opened by God or by the angels or by the Elohim, whatever you want to call them, it makes things a lot more interesting than just, I'm just here, I don't know what I'm doing. When you understand that everything is planned and you can ask for assistance and ask for guidance and things start to happen, I choose that path. It makes it a lot more interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely does. You can see the synchronicity and everything, and it also happens when you start to open your mind a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Give a shout out to everybody in the chat room, all the guests holding it down. There's been a lot of people come through tonight. Give a shout out to Dave with Out of the Darkness and in his chat room and his Talk Shoe account. You guys can check him out and what they talk about, the same things that we're talking about. As soon as this show is over, just go to talkshoe.com and type in Out of Darkness, and their room should pop up, and they usually kind of continue with some of the topics that we were talking about and kind of give their discourse on it. And also you can check out on Facebook, their Facebook group, Out of Darkness as well. And they definitely come in and support the show and help us out. Dave and them. Shout out to Bigsy coming in. He's been holding me down for the last couple of weeks and into a lot of the information that we're talking about. He does music as well. Dano, have no idea where Dano's at. If y'all see Dano, tell him I'm going to kick him in the butt when I see him. He was supposed to co-host this show. I have no idea where he's at. But Crystal, Rose, everybody listening in the chat room. So thanks to everybody for coming. What's his name? Rynell. I believe I said it right, hopefully. Thanks for calling in, brother, and everybody holding us down on Facebook. So is there anything that we didn't touch on that you wanted to kind of go into?
You asked me.
Yeah, was there anything that we didn't cover?
I mean, we were talking about... no, I mean, maybe we should have talked a little bit more about this, spiritual evolution or awakening maybe, but we just talked about it, like, what we felt like, and no, I feel like, no, nothing really. How about you?
Nah, it's good. Like, it's just really whatever. Anybody in the chat room, y'all have any topics I want us to touch on within the next couple of minutes, let us know. Shoot us a line and we'll try to drop on it. There's been a lot of conversation in the chat room. So, we do these shows every Monday night. For everybody listening on YouTube, on the podcast, we do these every Monday night at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And there's a live chat room, so you guys listening in there, you can find the show on our Talk Shoe account, which is The Awakening. You can just hit us up on Facebook, which just type in The Awakening Podcast, or True Seeker, add me personally, and I'll share the links like crazy. So everybody's saying great show, so good show. Thanks for coming on, and definitely would like to have you back.
Yeah, I need to like to come back sometimes when I'm a little bit. I'm really tired tonight because like I told you, I was in the hospital the whole day, and now it's like 6 o'clock in the morning in Sweden, and I haven't been sleeping anything, so I don't feel like I have a lot of energy,
6 o'clock in the morning.
So, but I would definitely like to come back some other time with a lot of more energy.
Yeah. Well, you know anything about the Ashtar Command? Have you been dealt with anybody who's claiming to be an ambassador to those people?
Yeah, I heard about it. What is it?
I really don't know. It's just some type of
ambassador,
the Galactic Federation of Light and all that type of stuff.
I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I don't like it too much. I mean, there's a lot of things in the New Age movement that I don't like. When they talk about like I'm an ambassador of this specific alien race and all this bullshit, if you ask me, because I don't believe in that at all. I think it's a lot of ego going on in the New Age movement, and there's a lot of people, want to show their ass off.
Yeah. Well, it's just like that with anything, It's like in Christianity, you have a lot of different denominations, and that you have these people who get way out there. Like I got room to talk, but these people get way out there and do a lot of crazy stuff, and then they people try to judge Christianity by that. Like, hey, you guys have these people, but it's with everything. Islam has their radicals, New Age movement has their radicals, and people who make it up as they go and stuff like that without doing research and claim to be, all these people. And, and somebody was talking about Bashar. What about you look at that irks me. I'm not gonna lie. I've told several people that he almost like he's making fun.
Yeah, it's like
being funny.
Yeah, it's like a joke or something.
Yeah, it's like a puppet, like Kermit.
Yeah, something like that. But then he also say a lot of things that you can feel is, really conscious. So it's mixed up. And that's the thing with many people, both in the New Age movement, in the religion, they are mixed, twisted. So you can get fooled if you're not in tune with yourself, because that's the only way they can fool people is when you're not really in your own vibration, in your own consciousness. So they can't fool you if you really trust yourself, because what they want is for you to worship them and for you to come to them. That's the whole thing with this, healers and, pay me and I will heal you. I don't really, in most cases, I don't believe in that, because I think it's more important to teach people how they can heal themselves, how they can raise their own vibration. Yeah. And, that's, you teach people about oneness, and none is more or less than anyone else.
Yeah. Well, you find that a lot. They send out. You find that a lot with the religious institutions and stuff, is that they create this hierarchy.
Yeah, exactly.
Where there's people over other people and people are under people. Where in a true hierarchy of, I'm saying, the way the Bible teaches it. It doesn't go up and down where you have the pastors at the top and he's over everybody, tells people what to do. It's more of like, we're all, submissive to one another. Where, we bear each other's burdens. Not that we all grind so that the pastor doesn't have to work, or it's always this controlling issue. And it's in so many, it's not just Christianity. It's not the New Age movement.
Everywhere.
Every religion. Every religion has that.
Everywhere.
Somebody out there doesn't want to work. They want to sit up while everybody else works, and they get paid off of it. So, that's why there's, really nothing to, gain or whatever. You're not collecting, money from people or charging for interviews or stuff like that. Like, if, freely you have received, freely give. That's what the Bible says, So I really believe that.
It's someone we really should, pay attention to and learn from the way I see it. It's the children, because they have in many cases, much higher consciousness than many of the older people, because that's how it works.
Yeah.
So that's not, really how people think.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say it again. Thanks for coming on the show. I guess that's a pretty good note to go ahead and end it on. Love to have you back.
Yeah,
and,
I would love to come back.
So yeah, thanks for promoting my music and stuff, too. I know you've been sharing my music and stuff in the past, and stuff I'm involved with, so thanks for doing that. It means a lot, too. So I do the same thing for you. I share your blogs or whatever you have for me to share, and same way for everybody on the page. Anybody that's, it's about, staying connected and coming together. So whatever projects you guys are working on, don't be afraid to ask us to share it on our pages and everything. You do the same thing. I see you share my music in our interviews and things like that. I definitely won't hesitate to share whatever you're working on. So that's the way it works out. Definitely giving shouts out to everybody affiliated with us and people who are supporting us. So with that, we're going to say peace and shalom, man. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you so much.